My best friend, Daisy, called me in the middle of the night, wanting to feel my abs. But when the door opened, it was her brother, Brian. Abs, college guy abs, feel free to touch, Daisy said. My brother is your brother. Come on, Brian. I couldn't look, letting Daisy drag my hand all over Brian's body. But he wasn't having it. Leaning against the doorframe, he grinned mischievously. Why won't you look at me? You weren't like this 2 years ago when you were touching me. 2 years ago, when I was messing with you, I didn't know you were my best friend's brother. Why won't you look at me? You weren't like this 2 years ago when you were touching me. Brian's eyes narrowed, a hint of playfulness in his gaze. What do you mean? Daisy asked, confused. But I was about to die. How was I supposed to explain to Daisy that I'd mistaken her brother for my blind date 2 years ago and taken him to a hotel for a whole night of fun? Brian kept pushing. It's just that this sister looks a little familiar. Daisy turned to me. He looks familiar to you? My fierce glare immediately turned innocent, and I shook my head like a bobblehead. Nope, never seen him, don't know him. I knew it. Daisy laughed, grabbing my hand and slapping Brian's abs hard. Brian winced, letting out a low groan. The sound was just as sexy as it was 2 years ago when I was messing with him. And it had a bit more depth and grit now. Even sexier. Why'd you hit me? He grumbled. I hit you because I hit you, don't at me, Daisy said, mimicking him with a disgusted look, pulling me behind her like a protective mama bear. Why are you such a show-off tonight, with your flashy hair and flashy clothes? Who are you trying to impress in the middle of the night? Of course, I'm here to welcome your friend, Brian said, staring intensely at me, gritting his teeth. This unfamiliar, unknown, never seen before stranger friend. He's crazy, ignore him, let's go, Daisy said, pulling me towards her room. It was only a few steps, but I walked like a robot, taking 20 steps. Before she closed the door, Brian shot me a fiery look. Good night, sweet dreams. But that night, sweet dreams were definitely not in the cards. First, Daisy kept me up all night gossiping. We went through our college graduation photos, trashing everyone we disliked, one by one. Then came Brian. I never would have thought he'd be so persistent. At 4 a.m., he was squatting by the bathroom door, waiting for me. I knew you'd get up to pee. 2 years ago, at the hotel, I flipped you over. My internal alarm blared, and I clapped a hand over his mouth like I was being chased by a ghost. That night was just too much to remember. I only spent an hour or two in bed. The rest of the time, I was either in the bathroom, or on the sweets table, or by the floor-to-ceiling windows. Whatever. Better not to bring it up. I looked back. Daisy was sound asleep. When I turned back, Brian was right up against me. His arms were wrapped tightly around my lower back. He leaned his chin obediently on my shoulder, rubbing against me. You pretending not to know me really hurt my feelings. But now that I see you, I'm so happy. His bangs tickled my neck, and his words were like a kitten purring, scratching at my heart. Stop trying to seduce me. Please. Were you waiting for me? I struggled to pull his fingers off, pushing him away. Who was waiting for you? I came to use the bathroom. What, you want to join? Brian chuckled, his eyes full of anticipation. Can I? I'll help you. I tried my best to control myself, lowering my voice to warn him. Brian. The next second, he grabbed my wrist and pulled me into the bathroom. He lifted me onto the sink. With a click, he locked the door behind us. In the quiet space, his dark eyes fixated on me like a wolf. Then, he braced his hands on the sink, creating a small circle, trapping me. Brian, stop messing around, I'm your sister's friend. Your sister will kill us both if she finds out. I'm not messing around. I just missed you a lot. The bathroom was too dark, I couldn't make out the emotion in his eyes, only seeing him bend a little. Memories flashed back. That night, he knelt to help me, his wet eyes glued to me, serving his master like a loyal puppy. I felt all soft again. But now, I couldn't let that happen. I immediately cupped his face, meeting his gaze. Brian. But he seemed to have lost his mind, rambling incoherently. When you call my name, I just... His dark head moved closer to me. I held my breath. Just as our lips were about to touch, he suddenly changed direction. A kiss landed on my chin. He lowered his gaze, pecked me reluctantly, then looked up again. He could have looked at me directly, but he deliberately lowered himself a little, looking up at me with a pious, pathetic gaze. You slept with me and then ran off. I've remembered that. Everyone knows a woman in her 20s is like a tigress, and now, he had me completely on fire. But that shaky sense of morality desperately stopped me. Finally, I frustratingly ran a hand through my hair. So what now? A one-night stand, do you want me to be responsible for the rest of your life? After I said that, he moved closer again. That's not impossible. That is absolutely impossible. I grabbed his shoulders with both hands, taking on a sister demeanor to scold him. Brian, what happened before stops here? Once we leave this bathroom, once tonight is over, no, once this moment is over, I'm still your sister's friend, and you're still my little brother. The kiss just now never happened, and I won't hold it against you. Tomorrow, we go back to normal. Brian's face instantly darkened. Before I could jump off the sink, he grabbed my wrist, twisted it behind my back, and his gaze turned grim, full of intent to punish me. Then let's just not leave the bathroom. I genuinely couldn't get out of the bathroom all night. I was in a state of high tension the whole time. But Brian, on the other hand, thought it was incredibly exciting. One moment, he'd brush my hair aside to charm me, don't hold back, just say what you want to say. The next, he'd kiss my earlobe to scare me, Daisy might hear us, you know. He kept me on edge the entire time. The next morning, Daisy woke up before I did. No way, Jasmine, how are you sleeping more than me now? I really couldn't open my eyes at all. Please, just 5 more minutes. Suddenly, a dark shadow fell over me. Jasmine, why are your lips swollen? I jolted awake. Daisy pointed at my lips, studying them with a puzzled expression. How did your mouth get all messed up just from sleeping? I shot up like a fish, ready to make excuses. But my pajama collar was too open, and one of my straps slipped down. Daisy's eyes slowly moved from my face downwards, and she shrieked, "Oh my God, why do you have hickeys on your neck? Tell me, who gave them to you?" No, listen to me. I did. Daisy and I both whipped our heads around, looking at the doorway as if we'd seen a ghost. Brian was leaning against the doorframe, gracefully popping a grape into his mouth. A smirk played on his lips, a picture of smug satisfaction. Just yesterday, when he was being so aggressive, I had pleaded with him. His eyes were wet as he promised, "Don't worry, I won't let Daisy know." In my dazed state, I was even ready to hug and kiss him, rewarding him for being so understanding. Who knew he'd then say, after all, it's more exciting to keep it from her. I figured, whatever he thought didn't matter, as long as he didn't spill the beans. But now he pulls this stunt. Doesn't he care if I drop dead right here? I glared at him furiously. Unexpectedly, he spoke again, changing the subject abruptly. I grew the grapes, do either of you ladies want some? I came back to life. Daisy was startled by his sudden shift and threw a pillow at him. Get out of here. Why are you causing trouble first thing in the morning? Then she turned back to me, smiling sweetly, and continued to interrogate me. Tell me, who was it? Yeah, who was it? Brian joined in, acting like nothing happened, his gossipy tone fueling Daisy's curiosity even more. Just yesterday she was feeling my abs, and today my sister found hickeys here. He deliberately lightly touched his collarbone, then turned to Daisy, pouting and clicking his tongue. She's hiding such an important thing from you, is your status slipping? Who knew Daisy would fall for this? She rolled up her sleeves and stood on the bed, her head almost touching the ceiling. Jasmine. You better spill it. Damn it, the culprit is your brother, how am I supposed to spill it? Daisy pinched my chin, gritting her teeth. Don't tell me it was that guy. I tilted my head back, slowly looking at Daisy, who had her hands on her hips. I swallowed. Actually, it wasn't. Behind me, Brian's expression suddenly vanished. He squinted at me, lost in thought. In the bathroom, Daisy was still not letting go. Really not him? Really not. Then who was it? The wink guy. Daisy spit out her water, waving her hand. You know, the really pale guy who always grins. I broke into a sweat. That's insane, we weren't even together for a day, were we? Daisy leaned closer to me again. Not him, then was it the Hermes guy? Oh, you know, the one who always talks about riding horses and invites you to ride horses. I was speechless. She mumbled to herself, oh right, he's busy riding horses, probably doesn't have time for this. So who was it? Mosquito bites. Mosquitoes can bite that much, and only on your collarbone? Daisy touched the marks on my collarbone, clicking her tongue. So tender, if I were a mosquito, I'd bite too. She wasn't the type to press the issue, so she believed whatever I said. Finally, after pushing open the bathroom door, she grabbed my shoulders again and said emphatically, whether it's mosquitoes or a person, it's fine. Just can't be that person, got it? I took her warning to heart. Daisy went to the kitchen to make breakfast. Brian and I were left facing each other at the dining table. He was no longer the clingy little dog he'd been last night. He was tapping his fingers on the table, radiating an icy aura. The wink guy, Hermes, you've had a lot of people in your past. I faked a smile. Yeah, they're all in the past. You too. His face instantly darkened. After a few seconds of silence, he casually asked, then who was it? I took a sip of milk. What, who? Just that person my sister was talking about. I racked my brain, then exclaimed loudly, oh. That person. Feeling his hidden gaze of anticipation, I crooked my finger. Lean closer, and I'll tell you. Brian pushed his chair back and quickly sat next to me. I leaned in. It's just. What's it to you? Brian gritted his teeth. I cut him off. What you wanted me to make up for, I already gave you last night. Don't forget what you promised me. With that, I patted his head. All right, go back to your seat, and wait for breakfast. He snorted, looking at me, then at the kitchen. Then he yelled, Jasmine said she wants to see my action figures. Go ahead, I'll call you when food's ready. I was shocked. Oh, he's going for this move. He met my eyes, and said softly, word for word, let's go to my room. Your lips are so soft. Brian. Let go of me. I whispered, trying to stop his hand. What's wrong with you? I'll tell you, okay? Too late. He pinned me against the wall, his warm breath on my face. He nibbled my earlobe, his voice husky. Too late. I don't care who that person is anymore, I just want to properly. His vulgar words reached my ears. My earlobes instantly turned red. Embarrassed, angry. Brian, don't. He didn't hear me, only focusing on kissing my collarbone. The marks from last night were fading, and he was covering them again. That person must be really annoying. Are you going to see him? It's fine if you see him, he'll see this. But will you tell him I did this? My legs were halfway to jelly, my arms barely resting on his shoulders to support myself. I maintained my last shred of sanity, regulated my breathing, and tried my best to keep my voice steady. Brian, if you keep this up, I'm going to be really mad. As soon as I said that, his body stiffened. All the movement in his hands stopped. The lust-filled look in his eyes slowly cleared, and he regained his composure. A flicker of panic crossed his eyes, and he seemed flustered. I took a deep breath and pushed him away. Brian, I was the one who wronged you first 2 years ago. I know that, So last night when you wanted compensation, I agreed. 1 for 1, we're even. Now your sister is right outside, you can't keep messing around like this. He froze for a moment. His eyes slowly darkened, his eyelashes trembling slightly. Even his voice was a little shaky. 1 for 1? Yeah. Last night you wanted it, and I ended up giving it to you, didn't I? Damn, I'm such a jerk. Brian's hands dropped to his sides, he gave me a deep look, and chuckled self-deprecatingly. So you just went along with it as compensation? Yeah. And you totally don't understand what I mean? I froze for a moment. Never mind, if you don't understand, you don't understand. My heart clenched suddenly, as if squeezed tightly by a large hand. I didn't like that expression on him. But I didn't know how to respond. He took a step back, maintaining a polite distance. If you think I'm messing around, then consider it messing around. I won't do it again. I'm sorry. I suddenly felt incredibly uncomfortable. My heart felt like it had been broken into 8 pieces. At the dinner table, Brian didn't spare me a glance, just silently ate his food. Daisy, sharp as ever, noticed the awkward atmosphere. I heard noises from your room earlier, what happened? Did Jasmine break your action figures? Brian still didn't look up, just coldly replied with one word. No. You were fine just now, weren't you? If they're really broken, just buy new ones, ask her. Daisy pointed at me. Oh, right, those ones you love the most, Jasmine bought them for you. Forgot to tell you. Brian paused. Finally, he looked up at me. His eyes held a probing look, then shifted to a hint of self-mockery. Is this compensation too? My hand holding the chopsticks trembled. Back then, after I'd slept with him, I was excitedly about to text Daisy, raving about how great my blind date was. But Daisy beat me to it, telling me her brother was back in the country. She even sent 2 photos. She asked me, isn't he handsome? After seeing the photos, a bolt of lightning struck me directly from the heavens. Immediately after, my mom sent a voice message, asking why I hadn't met my blind date yet. I didn't believe it and even pulled up our chat history for proof. Didn't you tell me to find the most capable one in the whole place? My mom roared, gold stick, gold stick. The one with the gold stick. Damn it, I could have fallen to my knees right then and there. I thought my mom had picked up that accent from her travels. This was truly a disaster. Just as I was about to confess, Daisy sent me a furious voice message, cursing me out. But what's the use of being handsome? He just got back and he's already getting into trouble. Last night I called that brat, and guess what? He was with a woman. I was so mad. Even though my brother is decent in all aspects, he's not a playboy. How did he get tricked into bed by a woman the moment he came back? In this day and age, if a man isn't careful about his reputation, how can he marry a good wife? Damn it, the more I talk about it, the angrier I get. I have to find that vixen, she actually dared to defile my brother's innocence. I'll beat her to death. I was scared senseless and dropped back to my knees. Without a word, my trembling hands immediately deleted Brian. For a while after that, Daisy would constantly complain to me. I swear, my brother has been out of it these past few days. When I asked, he said he got dumped. It's only been a few days, and that little bitch slept with him and then ran off. How dare she ruin our country's future under my nose? Just wait, if I ever catch that little bitch, I'll hire someone to put a sack over her head and beat her up. I didn't dare say a word. I just frantically found people to buy all sorts of expensive things, including those high-priced action figures in Brian's room, telling Daisy, your brother is my brother too, and I feel so bad for him being treated like this. I bought these to cheer him up. After sending the gifts, I joined Daisy in cursing myself as a vixen and a little bitch. In the end, I don't know if Brian felt better, but Daisy definitely got it all out. Right now, Brian was staring at me expressionlessly. Daisy poked his cheek, trying to suppress a laugh. That was 2 years ago, are you still dwelling on it? Don't worry, Jasmine isn't making fun of you. Those gifts were just to comfort you. As she spoke, she started slapping the table, laughing loudly. But you're killing me, I should be the one saying it. Little bro, you need to practice more, you just got back and you're already being played like a fiddle. My toes under the table were tightly curled. The louder she laughed, the tighter my big toe curled. She was the only one at the table who had no idea what was going on, and she was the happiest. Such an idiot. Shut up, I kicked her, secretly glancing at Brian. I saw him calmly dissecting an egg. I shivered. My best friend wants to put a sack over my head and beat me. Her brother is practicing on eggs so he can dissect me later. What kind of family is this? They're like a gang. Daisy finally shut up, shaking her head and praising me repeatedly. Look how good our little Jasmine is, treating you like a true brother. I'm full, Brian said coldly, standing up and walking towards the hallway. His sister was stunned. She angrily took 2 bites of her bread. He never reacted this strongly when I brought up that woman before. What's wrong with him today? Daisy continued, don't ever go for men who've been hurt emotionally, they're too scary. A cold stare came from the hallway. Me, silently wiping sweat, acting like a shrinking turtle. Finally, just as Brian opened the door, Daisy stopped joking. Jasmine. Yeah. That guy's back. Are you still going to the class reunion? Brian and I both froze. I paused, then just said, yeah, I guess so. Out of the corner of my eye, Brian gave me a deep look. As soon as I said that, Brian left. The door slammed shut loudly. Daisy thought her brother was still mad about that vixen, so she spent the whole morning yelling at me again. I didn't dare tell her the truth, so I just cursed even louder than her. Daisy was shocked and ended up comforting me, telling me not to get angry over such a bitch. Finally, she stopped. At the class reunion, we arrived fashionably late. No other reason. Daisy said you have to look good when you see an ex. Look good yourself, then send him off with a bang. Sure enough, when we arrived, all eyes were on me. Including the guy sitting at the head table, Gus, my ex, the CEO of the Gus Group. Everyone in business there wished they could cling to him. After all, he could snap his fingers and give them benefits they'd never get in their lives. Oh, Jasmine, you're finally here, we've been waiting for you. Someone who liked to stir things up deliberately cleared the seat next to Gus for me. I knew exactly what that meant. Over the years, many people had used asking about me as an excuse to pry for information about Gus. They thought that since Gus was so devoted to me back then, he wouldn't have cut ties. But the truth was, he forgot all about me as soon as he went abroad. And then he got engaged to the daughter of another conglomerate. That's how dramatic it was. Even more dramatic, when I found out, I confronted him, but he calmly said, I can give you everything, love and money, except the title of Mrs. Gus. Forget that. I slapped him then and there and broke up with him. Even now, he still had that gentle, dignified look. He patted the seat next to him and smiled at me, Jasmine, come sit here. Still the campus queen, Jasmine, you're still so beautiful after all these years. Exactly, you walk in and this place just brightens up. It's been so many years, and you haven't come much, and neither has Thomas. It's rare we're all together today, we should have a good time. Everyone raised their glasses and crowded around me. Daisy snickered beside me, but I didn't move. Gus, next to me, was gentle and refined. He directly raised his glass. Jasmine doesn't like to drink, I'll do it for her. Everyone around us paused, then quickly smiled, lowering their glasses to clink with his. So disgusting. I picked up my glass and downed it, smiling. I actually like drinking now. Then I turned to Gus, raising an eyebrow. Do it for me? Thomas, are we that close? In what capacity are you doing this for me? Daisy also stood up, laughing. Exactly, Thomas. Stop doing things that earn you criticism. Aren't you tired of being our constant topic of gossip and insult material? You're not tired, but I'm tired of cursing you. The people crowding around me quietly backed away, choosing not to get involved in this mess. The scene instantly fell silent. Gus remained unfazed, but a hint of guilt colored his brow. I deserve it. After all, I wronged you back then. That's what it feels like to punch a cotton ball. I felt nauseous and wanted to throw up. I couldn't help but gag. Daisy suddenly supported me and shouted, "Oh no, morning sickness again." I mechanically turned my head. Is this for real? But Daisy was fully committed to the act. She wiped my mouth with a tissue and tenderly rubbed my back to help me breathe. I told you not to drink, didn't I? How can you drink when you're pregnant? Your husband will be mad at me. As she spoke, she started subtly criticizing the host of the dinner. But it's fine, I just had a sip, and honestly, who would even know it's alcohol? It tastes so fake. Ever since you got married, you've only drunk the fine wine from your husband's estate. You haven't had anything this bad. I feel bad for you. Jasmine. Gus couldn't sit still, his face full of suppressed restraint, trying to reach for my hand. Really? But Daisy didn't give him a chance to speak, directly swatting his hand away with her arm. She said seriously, "Oh, Thomas, your perfume is too strong. Be careful not to upset the pregnant woman." She then wrinkled her nose and fanned the air, deliberately mocking him. "Thomas, with your status, spraying this kind of perfume, who recommended it to you? They have terrible taste." She spoke while shaking a high-end silk scarf with a prominent logo, holding it over my nose. "Don't come too close, my Jasmine is used to good perfumes, she can't stand this kind." I took a deep breath and immediately cooperated by coughing a few times. "Oh, the baby's kicking me." Daisy immediately held my waist. "See, even the baby in your belly can't stand it." "It's okay, Godmother will take you, let's go find Daddy." Gus's face was darker than ever. And my stomach was bursting from holding back laughter. Daisy carefully helped me walk out, but then halfway, she turned back to Gus. "What did you do?" "I gave him a business card for my company. Contact me if you want to switch perfumes, my company is overseas and we make high-end perfumes." I was laughing so hard my stomach rumbled. Daisy gasped, then immediately leaned over my belly and started mumbling nonsense. "Oh my God, she's having a chicken." I was almost dying of laughter. Just as I was about to collapse from laughter, a hand suddenly appeared behind my waist, supporting me. I leaned back into a warm embrace. I looked up, and it was Brian. He was staring at me, a mischievous twinkle in his eyes. "You can even get pregnant while eating. Jasmine, you're something else." When Gus chased after me, he saw the scene. I was completely soft in Brian's arms, looking delicate and charming. Jasmine. Daisy, steady as an old ox, hid behind Brian and me, distributing the script. "Bro, your wife's ex is here." Brian's lips curved, and he slowly ran his fingers through my hair, supporting my head. The moment Gus reached me, Brian lowered his head and kissed me. I was stunned. Daisy was a little stunned too. "Holy crap, bro, you're getting into character so fast." But she quickly adjusted, hiding behind us, working behind the scenes. She directed with a whispered voice, "Bro, just a taste, don't take advantage of my best friend." All right, stop kissing, bro. Now hold Jasmine's waist and call her wife." I was shocked, my body trembling slightly. The next second, Brian pulled away from my lips, his eyes full of affection, sickeningly sweet. I was too embarrassed to look at him. This time, I wasn't acting, I was genuinely shy. He chuckled, then chased my lips for another kiss. After that, the hand on my waist tightened, pulling me even closer. "Wife, husband is here to take you home." Logically, anyone seeing this scene should have backed off. But Gus kept pursuing. Yes, he wasn't a person, and he was thick-skinned enough. He extended his hand to Brian, naturally introducing himself. After Brian politely shook his hand, he suddenly looked at me. Wife, my hands are still softer. My eyelids fluttered. Daisy also twitched, then spoke without thinking, turning up the heat even more. Jasmine, you call him husband too? Was she doing this on purpose or by accident? I secretly glanced at Brian, only to see the smile in his eyes deepen. He was trying to seduce me again. I pursed my lips and then, with nothing left to lose, leaned on Brian's shoulder. I said coyly, my husband is soft everywhere but there. I love my husband the most. Daisy almost fell over, repeatedly muttering holy crap behind me. Jasmine, you're a force to be reckoned with. Where no one could see, Brian's hand wrapped around my waist tightened fiercely, then started to rub my lower back. A warm, restless feeling spread through his body. His eyes were full of laughter, his smile could reach the sky. My wife's right, I'm pretty soft myself. Brian then gave Gus a polite smile. I just turned 20, Thomas, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? I bit my lower lip, tilted my head, and pretended to be deep in thought, trying to suppress my laughter. Daisy and I exchanged glances, also deep in thought. In the shadows, our hands behind our backs were already pinching each other. Damn it, hold it in. Gus's smile stiffened slightly. He forced a calm expression and adjusted his suit. I've been out too long, excuse me. Jasmine, contact me if you need anything. In the car, Daisy sat in the passenger seat, cursing Gus for 2 blocks. That deadbeat, contact him for what? Next time I contact you, it'll be for my goddaughter's wedding. That shameless jerk, pretending to be so devoted, a lightweight who gets drunk on cocktails and then acts like he's shielding someone from drinks, ugh. She cursed him without repeating herself, just like she cursed me. I was laughing so hard in the back seat that I was leaning back and forth. Suddenly, a jacket was placed over my lap. I stopped laughing and turned to look at the person next to me. Brian was leaning against the car window, propping his head with one hand, his eyes curved into a smile as he looked at me. The affection in his eyes was overflowing. You're so cute. I understood what he mouthed. My earlobes turned red again. This was too much. I looked away. My hands under the jacket were intertwined. Actually, you're cuter. I tried to act calm. But Brian sat up straight, moving his leg closer to mine, pressing tightly against my thigh. The dress was thin, and I could feel his scorching heat. Then, a hand slipped under the jacket. I was startled, looking up at him sharply. He curved his lips, putting his other hand to his mouth. His large hand opened mine, slowly intertwining his fingers with mine. Our fingers interlaced. The confined space grew more ambiguous. My heartbeat pounded uncontrollably. Perhaps it was so strong that he heard it too. So, his index finger tapped my knee, keeping time with my heartbeat. He mouthed, I like you. After we arrived home, Daisy got out of the car. Yawning, she told Brian, I'm going up first, make sure Jasmine gets home safe before you leave. Brian nodded obediently. The car window closed, and as soon as the car pulled away from Daisy's house, Brian cupped my head and kissed me directly. The driver glanced in the rearview mirror, his eyebrow twitching. He silently raised the partition. Now, with no one watching, Brian became even more unrestrained. He grabbed my hand and placed it on the left side of his chest. His glistening lips parted slightly, and he leaned his forehead against mine. Our noses brushed intimately. I like you. I really like you. Did you hear me? He pulled me into his arms by my waist. His hand massaged my neck, up and down. His words were even more enticing. Do you like me? I leaned into his embrace, my body half soft. I just whispered, what is it, do I like it? Yes. Like who? Brian. Who likes Brian? I sat up straight, narrowing my eyes and glaring at him. That's enough. He didn't get angry, cupping my face and pecking my lips. You're cute even when you're angry. I couldn't take it anymore. Weren't you throwing a tantrum and being cold earlier today? What's with this now? Men's hearts are a mystery. I muttered, my face red, shrinking my head down. His low chuckle reached my ears. Seducing me again. This was even worse. I just burrowed into his arms. Stop laughing, or I'll chop your head off. Okay, I won't laugh. Kiss me. We're home. Brian got out of the car with me and walked me to my front door. I waved, reluctant to say goodbye. He smiled and said, I'm leaving now. Okay. Who knew he'd actually turn around and leave? My temper immediately flared. To show I wasn't that eager for him to stay, I also turned around. Just as I was about to close the door, Brian suddenly darted in. He came in with a gust of wind, hugging me from behind. He sniffed my hair, his voice full of grievance. How could you be so cruel, not even asking me to stay? My heart almost melted. You were the one who left first. I was just telling Uncle Chen to head back. I suddenly felt shy. Are you staying here tonight? He rested his chin on my shoulder, tilting his head to kiss my ear. Not enough rooms? If not, I can squeeze into your room. I didn't get a good night's sleep. Woke up with a sore back. Before I could fully open my eyes, the phone suddenly rang. It was Daisy. Jasmine, do you know what you're doing? I shot up in bed. Oh no. I think I slept with her brother again. Did she find out? I'm sorry. I called you 20 times last night, and you didn't answer once. And now you don't even report back. Instantly, my heart dropped. I smiled, ready to speak. A voice from outside the door. The phone went silent for 2 seconds. Then. Jasmine. Which wild man are you with? I heard clanging on the phone, I even heard the sound of a knife. I was terrified. I jumped out of bed. Daisy, what are you doing? The other person gritted their teeth, spitting out each word. Busting. You. I shooed Brian out the door like he was a chicken. Run. Don't look back. Brian was still wearing a flamboyant pink apron and pink bunny slippers. He stood outside my door, looking bewildered, holding his clothes. I was frustrated with him. Run, your sister's coming with a knife. He threw his clothes down, hardened his resolve. Why run? If she's got the guts, let her kill me. Then he looked at my face, gritting his teeth, and said incredibly seriously, if I'm going to die, I'll die with you. I kicked him in the butt. But I don't want to die. Go. Finally, after sending Brian off, Daisy's car pulled up to my door. Her hair was messy, and she was holding a cleaver, truly looking like an angry wife confronting a mistress. It was so embarrassing. Get in first, let's talk. I tossed the cleaver into the flower bed and hugged Daisy, pulling her inside. She pointed at me, sobbing. Jasmine, you betrayed me. After all these years of friendship, how could you just throw it away? You got a boyfriend and didn't tell me, how could you be so heartless? Where's that wild man, let him out. I'll kill him. I rubbed my temples, waving my hand. Whoa, hold on. She immediately stopped, leaning back on the couch like a boss. Speak. I'm in a relationship. Her eyes immediately welled up again. Damn it, you're in a relationship and you didn't tell me sooner? I had to find out myself before you told me. Do you even consider me your friend? I'm really mad. I patiently coaxed her. I was going to tell you today anyway. Tell me, she said. I tested the waters. 2 years ago. She exploded again. 2 years ago. You're telling me about something from 2 years ago, 2 years later? Let me speak first, don't get excited. 2 years ago, I went to meet a blind date, but I got the wrong person, and then with him. I was afraid if I said more, she'd guess who it was. So I stopped, watching her reaction. She frowned, her eyes full of curiosity. Slept with him? I moved further away, nodding. Oh, she said, then grinned, hooking her arm around mine and batting her eyelashes. Was he hot? Was he good in bed? I was shy, nodding coyly. She laughed, stomping her feet. Go on, go on. But, I glanced at her. But because of some things, I deleted him the day after we slept together. Daisy blinked. Then what? I was surprised. You don't think I'm a jerk? She started laughing. Holy crap, you're so beautiful, the guys you've slept with should feel honored, okay? How is that being a jerk? Who dares to call you a jerk? I'll chop them up with a cleaver. I narrowed my eyes. Then later I met him again, and he was totally into me, and I told him it was just a one-night stand, and did he still want me to take responsibility? She gasped, holy crap. Then. Awesome, babe, that's what we strong women should do. You're so cool, kiss me, baby. Then I went to his house, and everyone in his family was asleep, and he and I were in the bathroom. She gasped again. I was on pins and needles. She covered her mouth, chuckling mischievously, poking my arm. Was it exciting, babe? Don't you think I'm like a vixen, seducing people? And doing that while his family is home, don't you think I'm so trashy? Who the hell dares to call you trashy? I'll beat them to death. She got agitated, telling me seriously, babe, this isn't being a vixen, it's because you're beautiful. It's those men who can't help themselves. If I were a man, just one look at you and I'd want to, you. This was truly bizarre. I continued to talk. But I have a really bad temper, and he's really nice to me, but I still get angry. You're beautiful. Roses have thorns. But his family doesn't approve. You're beautiful. Raising the aesthetic standards of our country's youth is something every citizen should do, right? Then will you meet him? Daisy picked up the cleaver from the flower bed and placed it next to her. She said she was going to back me up. I silently wiped away sweat. Daisy sat on the sofa, resting with her eyes closed. Brian returned. You've only known each other for a few days, why are you calling? Daisy opened her eyes. She froze. Brian's face was calm. Known each other for about 7,300 days. Yeah, you even held me when I was born. Daisy shakily stood up. Then she roared like a lion. Brian, you son of a gun, you're messing with my best friend. Someone almost died. Luckily, I stopped it in time. Daisy, Jasmine, you're blind, seriously. Brian, if it weren't for you, we would have missed each other. Daisy jumped up again and grabbed her brother's hair. I quickly got up. Hey, don't pull his hair, he'll go bald and it won't look good. You're protecting him. Daisy looked devastated. Him? And good in bed? When I held him as a kid, he was just a little. Daisy. Brian was angry. Please leave, this is my house. Is your name on it? I don't need these material things, I only need her. Damn it, you're unbelievable. Daisy patted her butt and walked out the door. Brian and I were behind her, pulling and laughing. Suddenly, Daisy seemed to remember something and spun around. Brian, what were you and Jasmine doing in the bathroom behind my back? That's the bathroom I spent a fortune renovating. Oh. It's easier to invite a god than to send one away. Daisy finally left. She was cursing and grumbling as she went, and Brian just had this I don't care, my sister loves me look on his face. It almost drove her crazy. I closed the door, and a hot chest pressed against my back. She's gone. It feels so wrong, kinda weird. Even though I said that, my face was burning. Then touch my abs, and it won't feel weird anymore. My face flushed, and I reached my hand under his apron. Brian bit his lower lip, his chest rising and falling, trying hard to hold back. His sexy voice almost electrocuted me. You were like this 2 years ago too. I still like you like this. He was seducing me again. He lowered his head, wanting to kiss me. I turned my head away, reaching up to pull his necklace. Let's mark this spot after we get some carpet laid. Let's go upstairs first, okay? Whatever you say. He was obedient, letting me lead him. His lust-filled eyes stared at me without moving. However you want to play, let's play.